What's up, everyone? Welcome to my channel where I share with you guys strange and mysterious stories. On the last episode, I shared with you guys a story about this guy who was attending school at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, but living in Mpumalanga. The guy was unfortunately put through hell by his aunt and his grandmother. They killed him and then brought him back to life as a zombie so that he can do their bidding. So apparently what led to this was jealousy. It's because the guy was the first one in his family to go as far as varsity. So they decided uh, nobody in that family deserves to go to varsity or do better than anyone. So they killed the poor kid and then brought him back to life as a zombie. You can check it out. It's in episode 7. The reason I'm telling you guys about the last episode, just recapping there about the last episode, is because today's story is a bit similar. Today's story also proves just how wicked family can be. Like, it just proves that there's no limit to things family members would actually do when jealousy is concerned. So somebody wrote to us to tell us a story about what they did to their cousin because of jealousy. And there's a twist in this story, so you're gonna have to watch the whole video because parents are supposed to protect their kids, right? So instead of protecting this victim in today's story, the father was participating in this witchcraft to ruin the kid's life. So yeah, it is really sad. So just remember to say that prayer that I mentioned in episode 7. Just pray to God to protect you against friends and family members, because your enemies you can handle. Remember, your enemies, it is expected of them to do you dirty, but family members, when they do you dirty, that's a whole new level of pain, emotional damage. There isn't really coming back from that, especially when it's close family members. Okay, let's get to today's story. The person who wrote to us reached out through Facebook. We do have a Facebook page. So the person reached out, and the first thing he or she said was to apologize for her part in all of this. I'm gonna post a screenshot of the inbox when I'm done telling you this story, so that you can get to see the name of the person and the name of the victims involved in the story. But I think this person was trying to remain anonymous. That's why they didn't reach out to me through WhatsApp. They don't want me to have their numbers. So I checked out the Facebook profile. It was created this year, not only this year, but this month, 19th of October. So you see, this person just created this account just to tell this story. Apparently, it's eating her inside. It's a female. Yeah, it's a female. Okay, here it goes. So this person says she has family members. They are cousins. It's a boy and a girl. This boy and a girl, they're siblings, right? Their mother passed away in 2014. When their mother passed away, apparently this cousin, they were actually happy about it. Not actually about the passing, but the suffering that the siblings went through. Okay, as the mother passed away, like some households, if the mother passes away, things are never the same. Like, there's just a lot going on. Sometimes you have to put up with a stepmother who doesn't even like you. Your father doesn't listen to you when you complain. It's just a mess. So let's appreciate our mothers. Let's not stress them and contribute to their demise. Okay, here goes. The mother passed away in 2014, right? Left behind two siblings, a sister and a brother, and her husband also. So the brother, uh, his occupation now is driving taxis. I guess he wasn't fortunate enough to further his studies or finish school. Immediately went to work and started driving taxis. And then, as for the girl, fortunately enough, she managed to finish matric, and as we speak, she's in varsity, furthering her studies. Mind you, you must remember it wasn't easy for her, as the cousin is explaining in the letter. It was tough, and during this whole time, the cousins were actually rejoicing in her struggles. But then, as God would have it, in 2019, this girl who lost her mother met a man who really loved her and actually wanted to marry her. Here's a plot twist though. Uh, the father was against it. The father didn't want this guy to marry his daughter. And as I'm telling the story, I guess you're going to understand why he didn't really want the guy to marry his daughter. Okay, so after a whole lot of convincing, also from the child as well, because she had to explain to her father how much she loves the guy and how much the guy loves her. That's why he wants to marry her. The father wasn't having it, but you know, money. The guy came through with his uncles and whatever, and they proposed to lobola, and the amount of money they were offering was too good to refuse, I guess, because the father took it. And then that's how the relationship got formal between the girl and this guy that she met. Now, this is where the jealousy from the cousins really intensified towards the girl, the orphan girl. Not really an orphan since she still has a dad, but this is where the jealousy really intensified because she was doing well in school and she was getting married to a very nice guy who actually loves her. And this cousins, they were jealous because they are older than her and they're not even married. But here she is, everything for her just seems to be flowing. So in her face, they would pretend to be happy for her and actually tell her they wish her the best, and they wish that God could actually bless their union with a child. This is what they say to her face. But behind her, they would be gossiping about her and actually conspiring that they wish she never gets a child. That's how deep the jealousy was between these cousins. And mind you, from family. So if family is this jealous of this girl, can you imagine the outside hate and jealousy? There's supposed to be a union, a unity, unified, but seems like they're divided because of jealousy. And even the dad is not making things easy for anyone, because apparently this father wanted to control the child. That's why he didn't want her to get married. And he knew that if she gets married, then he's gonna lose control over her. She's gonna be controlled by the husband. And you're gonna soon learn why he doesn't want to lose control over the daughter. So apparently before the mother passed away, she was a teacher. As a teacher, you know, there's like pension funds and a bit of money that your dependents get. And on top of all that, the mother had a policy with an insurance company. It's a famous local insurance company. I can't mention the name because it would be free advertising. So yeah, but then I guess you're gonna see it on the screenshot when I post the screenshot at the end of this video. So during the time of the mother's passing, there were policies, there were pension funds and so on, right? And at that time, the brother was over the age of 18, so he was in control of his own inheritance from his mother. He managed to do himself a driver's license, a BDP, and then he kickstarted his taxi driving career. The father was in control of the daughter's finances and affairs since she was still a minor. So we are recapping a bit to when the mother died, right? So the child is supposed to be getting her money, right? But then there was also another policy where the child it was fixed, I believe. The money I think she was supposed to get it during her varsity days or after she turns 18. So the father suggested that they fix the money for 10 years for on behalf of the child, because the father still had a bit of money to spare. So they fixed that money for 10 years. All right. So here's where it gets messed up. Here's why the father didn't want to lose control over his daughter. It's going to be 10 years next year in 2024. So since it's going to be 10 years, it means the investment has matured. So there's a whole lot of money involved. But the father has no right over the money anymore because the child is now over the age of 18. She can just go over to the insurance company and process the claims herself or release the funds herself without her father's signature as the proxy. So it appears the father didn't want the child to get married because his plan was to kill the daughter and then go claim the money with the death certificate. You see? So here's the problem. If he kills the daughter now while she's married, the husband is going to be in possession of the death certificate and entitled to the money. So that's why the father did not want the daughter to get married. He was not happy at all about that idea of the daughter getting married, because this is where he loses control of his daughter. So yeah, that was the plan. If he can't control her and the finances anymore, the plan was to kill her. So I guess this was plan B, to kill her, claim the money from the insurance company with her death certificate, as the daughter has no child and she was not supposed to have a husband. So the plan to make sure she doesn't have a child, apparently this one, he conspired with the cousins. They did something to her womb. They bewitched her, whatever they did to her womb. She doesn't have a child. She never had a child throughout the marriage, because they made sure of it traditionally. So they went to a witch doctor, the father precisely, because he wanted to make sure that when the money comes, he gets it, not the child, not the husband. So the kid is married now. His daughter is married now. So what's next? He thinks about it. How does he get the money? Like 2014 is just around the corner. Okay, fine. The dad went to another traditional doctor or a witch doctor, because this is some evil stuff. He goes there, he explains the situation. He tells the witch doctor that he has been trying to kill his daughter or to control her, but then he's losing control over her because I think he had motive of some sort which he was using to control his daughter, but then it wasn't working anymore. Nothing, any attempts over his daughter's life were just failing. So the witch doctor explained that you know why you're failing to do anything to your daughter. It's because she's under the protection of her ancestors from her mother's side. And now she's also under the protection of her husband's ancestors, because during that lobola and union, the marriage union, they actually accepted the ancestors, they accepted their makoti, their bride, as part of the family, and therefore they protected the Yamakoti against all evil. So basically, it was a happy union, except for the fact that they couldn't conceive a kid. And little did they know that the father did something to make sure that they never get a kid. So the witch doctor advised that the father must go to his daughter's marital place, home. And at the marital home, he must get a sample of the soil in the yard. Just get a bit of soil, put it in a plastic bag, and bring it to the witch doctor. Okay, he gets home, he calls his daughter. He says, you know, ever since that the Lobola negotiations, and mind you, the cousin also says nothing was ever really done right traditionally during the Lobola negotiations, because nobody really wanted this daughter to get married, this cousin to get married, except for the brother. It appears only the brother, the sibling, was happy for his sister to be progressing and getting married. So nothing was really ever done right. Okay, so the father calls the daughter and says, daughter, since they fetched you here and took you to your marital home, I have never seen where you live, and I'd really like to see where my daughter lives. The daughter is happy, thinking my father is actually now making peace with the fact that I'm married, and he's finally accepting my husband. Okay, the daughter gladly gives her father the directions to her house. Sure enough, the father gets there. They welcome him with warm hands, they embrace him. The son-in-law is actually excited that his father-in-law has finally come to see how he is taking such good care of his daughter. They have a very nice home. They're living comfortably. Okay, fine. The son-in-law even runs to the nearest liquor store. He buys 6 dumpies for his father-in-law so that they can just relax and just get to know each other, because there was never really getting to know each other between the two. The father despised the son-in-law because he feels like he grabbed his jackpot. I don't know if the father felt like the guy knew about the money and he was in it for the money now. But yeah, so while they're chilling and drinking the beers there, the father managed to actually grab a sample of the soil from the yard, put it in his bag, in his pocket. They said their goodbyes, and after saying their goodbyes, the father took the soil sample to the witch doctor. The witch doctor did his voodoo magic, his rituals, whatever, and then the marriage was no longer so perfect. They started dating outside the marriage, those people. There was no longer any happiness. There was constant fighting, bickering, and whatever. Nobody would accept responsibility for any wrongdoings. They would just point fingers at each other, blaming each other even for useless things. So eventually, the couple separated. So they separated, and the daughter even moved to a whole new environment. She's no longer living with her husband, and she did not go back to her father's house. She's living at a new environment, and it's now October. So it's just like 2 months till 2024. November, December, and then we enter 2024. So this cousin who wrote to us, she is afraid that now that the union between the two has been broken off, between the cousin and her husband has been broken off, the father is now going to be able to kill the daughter, because she is no longer under the protection of the husband, and she might not be under the protection of her own ancestors from her mother's side, because they might be angry at her for not making the marriage work. Because remember, these two ancestors, they became one when the couple became one officially during the Lobola negotiations, and everything was official traditionally. So this cousin believes that the daughter might no longer be under the protection of the ancestors from both the ex-husband and her mother's side. So her biggest fear is that the dad is going to be able to execute his plan before 2024 and kill the daughter so that he can be able to claim the insurance money for himself with the daughter certificate. The cousin said she's not exactly sure how much the money is, but it seems to be a substantial amount of money because the father is even talking about buying a buggy with it. So the cousin who wrote to us admitted to being jealous of her cousin. She wishes that her life was perfect, just like her cousin. She wished she could find love and also have her things flowing nicely like her cousins. She was jealous, but she never wished death upon her. She was just comfortable knowing that her cousin couldn't have babies, or knowing that her cousin's marriage was in turmoil. She was constantly fighting with her husband, or just knowing that her cousin is suffering. That was actually enough for her. But death, she never wished death upon her cousin. So during her confession, she pleaded with people from Ga-Mothapo. Apparently, everyone involved in this story is from Ga-Mothapo. She pleaded with them to help her pray for Mololo Molepo, who was dating Rufus Mashapa, nicknamed Murufa. I'm guessing that's the ex-husband. So she's asking everyone to help her pray for them, and also if anyone can pass on the message to her cousin. She's pleading with that person to please pass on the message to the cousin that she must be very wary of her father. She must be aware of her father because he's out for blood. He wants to kill her so that he can inherit her investment. She can't do it herself, probably because she doesn't want to out herself. She doesn't want her cousin to know that she has been aware of the problems that she's been having in her life, and also that she is partly responsible for some of those problems. So yeah, she's pleading with anyone who can actually get a message out there to Mololo Molepo to just be careful of her father, because her father loves money more than he loves her and her brother. So he's asking anyone who can actually get a message out there to just do it. And also let her know that she must pray, consult, just make herself spiritually strong enough to withstand whatever her father has in store for her, because 2024 is just around the corner. We are like 2 months away. It's November, December, then boom, we are in 2024. So whatever the father is planning, Mololo has very little time to prepare and defend herself. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I will also be sharing the screenshot from the message we got on our Facebook page so that you guys can read it for yourselves. But then it's written in Sepedi, their home language. So yeah, here's the screenshot.
Witchcraft.